So let's talk about failure. And I don't mean that in a mean way, but let's be honest here. Most of us are looking for the secret. We want the hack, the shortcut, or the cool trick that changes everything overnight, because that's what feels exciting, and that's what gets the heart racing. But James Clear recently said something in his newsletter that really stuck with me. He said, success is often found by practicing the fundamentals everyone knows they should be doing, but find too boring or basic to practice routinely. So that's the stuff you already know, and it's the stuff you've heard 1,000 times. But why aren't you doing it? Because it's boring, and your brain hates boring. Your brain wants that quick hit of dopamine. It wants the big win right now. It doesn't want a 15-minute walk or a 9 p.m. bedtime. There's no thrill in that. But here's the truth. Success isn't a mountain peak, it's a pile of dirt. You build it one tiny spoonful at a time every single day without fail. So why is doing a little so much harder than going all in? Because when you go all in, you feel like a hero for 24 hours. You buy the gear, you meal prep, tell the world, it feels amazing. But then Tuesday happens and you're tired, and the gym feels like a chore. And unfortunately, because you went from 0 to 60, you have nowhere to go but down. So you quit and you wait for the next big spark to try again. But you're not gonna succeed that way over the long run. Just look at the world's best performers. Take an elite NBA player, for example. They aren't spending all day doing crazy 360 dunks. No, they're spending hour after hour doing boring drills. They're standing under the hoop, making simple layups over and over again. Because they know that when the time comes for them to be clutch in the game, their success depends on the boring work that they put in behind the scenes. The reason we have this problem is because our brains are wired to seek novelty. Now feels better, fast feels better. And that survival instinct may have helped us thousands of years ago, but now it just keeps us stuck. Our lizard brain thinks work isn't worth doing unless there's a massive reward right now. And that's why you check your phone every 30 seconds, because you're hoping for a notification to kill the boredom. So we scroll for a fat loss hack instead of just going for a walk. It's also why we buy a business course instead of making the sales calls. Because the course is new and exciting, but the work is boring and scary, and your brain would rather be entertained than productive. So how do we fix this? Well, this is what's worked for me. I use what I call the loop. I create a vision in my head of where I eventually want to be. And then I start ridiculously small until I become consistent. I mean really, really consistent. Like several months every day consistent. And then, and only then, do I progress. And then I just keep following the same loop over and over again until I become the person I envision. And by that time, it feels so deeply ingrained in me, it feels uncomfortable not to do it. It sounds simple, but if you're anything like I used to be, you're probably not doing it, because it's hard to value a win that doesn't feel like a big win right now. But the most effective work is usually the quietest, and it takes a long time. But success is just a string of boring minutes over a long period of time that you didn't quit on. So pick the boring stuff like eating your vegetables and drinking water and moving your body, and do it even when you don't want to. Actually do it especially when you don't want to, because that's when you're training your brain and you're telling your biology that you are in charge, not the dopamine. And over time, the boring stuff starts to feel good, and you start to crave the routine because you see how well it works. The fundamentals are always the answer, but we avoid them because they don't give us the story to tell. Because no one wants to say, I just ate my salad and went for a walk. We want to talk about complex protocols because they make us feel extraordinary. But the person who goes to bed at 9:30 is the one who has the energy to win. And you have to earn the right to do the complex stuff by mastering the ordinary stuff first. Pick one fundamental, something so basic you're embarrassed you aren't doing it. Do it for 5 minutes today and do it again tomorrow. Don't worry about progressing yet. Just worry about being the person who shows up. Because success doesn't come from trying to be extraordinary. It comes from being ordinary consistently. It's about falling in love with the process when it feels like watching paint dry. And once you do that, the results take care of themselves. But you have to be willing to do the work everyone else thinks they're too good for. And they'll stay exactly where they are, but you'll actually be moving in the right direction, one boring step at a time. And that's how you win. So stop looking for the hack and start doing the work, because it's going to be boring, but it's going to be worth it. And in a year from now, you won't be bored anymore. You'll be successful. So get started and do the boring thing now, and then do it again tomorrow, because there is no hack. There's just the work, and it's time to get to it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.